Don't forget to enter.
Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great Headkicks and Haymakers. I am your boy Bodkins. Of course, with me is always my brother from another mother. Joining us back again for his second appearance is our guy, Mr. Bobby Blunts. Bobby, what is up? Boys, let's jump right into it. I owe you guys an absolute apology. You two, I tip my cap to you guys. You guys said, hey, Bilal is going to win. And I said, no way, he's not. But Bilal put on the best performance of his life, I felt like. Leon admitted he was sluggish and slow. He looked sluggish and slow. But Bilal did not. He looked beefier, stockier. And he gave it to Leon. I had it pretty much how the judges had it. I gave rounds 1, 2, and 4 to Bilal, rounds 3 and 5 to Leon. And I said it was going to be a decision. And I will say this: I do think they're just keeping that seat warm for my guy Shavkat. But Bobby, we'll go to you. We'll start off right here. Your thoughts on just the main event before we kind of talk about the rest of the card.
I mean, I was very impressed. I mean, even though I picked Bilal to win the fight, I thought it was going to be a lot more even. And, you know, he moved forward with the striking. And then when he shot that first takedown, like everything just changed right there. Like the environment, like, I mean, granted, the crowd was kind of tired because of the time frame and shit, but it just went silent in there. And, you know, the way he was keeping Leon off, he was keeping his back to the cage. And then when he was coming off the cage, Leon was like trying to block with these elbows. And Bilal was just like hitting him with the uppercut. Like you could tell he studied Leon very well. Like, I mean, I personally scored it. I only gave Leon 1 round. I know a lot of people give him the 5th because of the damage with the elbow, but I think Bilal just had a lot more control. But, I mean, like you said, it's kind of a moot point because he won the decision either way. And, like you said, best performance of his life. And then some. It's the thing I love the most is immediately we're already back to dismissing Bilal. He just dumped Leon on his head and made him look pretty average, and then immediately it's, oh, well, it won't be a lot. I mean, I just can't wait, and I am so happy we are in the Bilal Muhammad era.
You and about 2 other people in the world are only about happy. You and Bilal Muhammad are happy that we're in the Bilal Muhammad welterweight. And I don't think it's funny because we'll get into this Muhammad Makayev situation, but it's funny because Bilal's not the most exciting guy at all. I don't even think he's got a great personality. Like his personality is not captivating to me. I don't really quite know a lot of like his story, and I get wrapped into guys' story and things like that. And I got wrapped into Leon's story partly, and that's why I kind of became a Leon fan, even though he was kind of a decision fighter. But I saw something, and I think maybe Witt shared it. But the welterweight as a whole has always kind of been a bunch of, GSP was a decision, always went to decision. It seemed like later on in his career. So it's like welterweights is kind of what they do. What was your thoughts on remember the name? We're going to have to remember his name because he's forever a UFC champion.
Man, listen, we were just off camera. We were talking, Bobby and I wanted to do something to commemorate the moment because when the song, and I had to look it up, it's My Blood is Palestine. When My Blood is Palestine dropped, okay, we don't know that the Palestinian immigrants and a lot of the people who are going through the struggle in that, we're not political here on the show, but there are a lot of people who flood to Europe they started showing the camera in the arena, there was a lot of Palestinian flags. The crowd went nuts, and then all of a sudden, it's Bilal Muhammad coming through, and I can agree with Bobby. I literally gave Leon one solid round, and in my mind, as I look at the stats from that night, bro, if the takedown, there's nine takedowns in 5 rounds. That's not a lot, but the point is the execution and how long he stayed on top of him. If you
once he was down, Leon wasn't getting up.
If you would have squinted a little bit, you could not have told me that was not Khabib. Okay, that is what it reminded me of. Is that constant, and and don't get me wrong, bro. It's not exciting. It's not that, stand up and bang. No, it's get on your back and I'm gonna pummel you. I'm gonna pummel you for 3-4 rounds, literally. And it was disappointing to me because I felt like there was no sense of urgency from Leon. And once again, I think that 4th round, right between 4 and 5, you got his coach going, "Come on, son, don't let him do this to you." We have to hear his coach motivating him to do anything.
Leon told him to shut the fuck up. I don't know.
Yeah. Because the thing is, Leon caught the idea. This is not easy. This was not, and I think we talked about it, on the show last week. Somehow, some way, the preparation for this fight, 1.5 years, is what paid off. And Khabib is literally put out the little video I think a day and a half later, was like, "Yeah, don't look at me. He did this himself. He trained hard."
Yeah.
But no, that looked exactly almost like what Khabib did to Conor. Let me stay on your back. Let me ride your back. Let me tap your face. The punches didn't really matter, but it's the frequency. And now when you get tired of getting hit in the face, you move your arm. I get to change positions. We have to do a lot of the things that Leon is not good at, is what that type of style does to Leon. And
hey, I don't know if it's you or somebody got some bad feedback coming through. Do you hear that? Is that you? I think it's I think it's you, Whit. It's like, yeah, I get it's like a vibrating noise.
Okay, hold on, wait.
Yeah, there it is. It was Whit, or it was definitely Whit, because now I don't hear it. Bobby, what do you think is kind of next for Bilal? To me, it's Shavkat. There's not a clear-cut number 1 contender.
No, there is. It's Shavkat.
You think it is? A lot of people. Yeah. So I've had this discussion with some of my other good friends, and one of my buddies said he feels like Shavkat needs a top 5 win, but I'm like, Islam won got a title shot off of beating Bobby Green, you know what I mean, and who wasn't even ranked. So yeah, wait, it's doing it again. We're getting some bad feedback, guy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Static. There, yeah, now you're good. Oh, and he muted though.
Yeah, I understand people saying, "Oh, I want him to, have one more fight to get it." But this is the difference, and what people are gonna soon to realize and appreciate about Bilal Muhammad is he is going to fight everybody. He's not going to turn down every fight, and because of that, it's Shavkat next. He literally even said before he won the title that he would face Shavkat next. So to me, that is the signed and sealed fight. That's what it should be. The matchup is going to be fantastic. And
a finisher versus a non-finisher. I can't wait.
I could literally see it being in Abu Dhabi with Islam being up in the air with his hand and stuff. It would not he could turn around in 3 months. That's the type of guy we're dealing with.
I think the UFC
people are going to catch on, and I'm just going to enjoy every minute.
I think the UFC wants him to turn around tomorrow. Dana White didn't look happy that Bilal Muhammad is his champion, and maybe it wasn't. It seemed like happy. He didn't. Maybe he was just pissed off about the whole fight card itself. I felt I don't know, but his body language, showed me that he wasn't. This guy's
He won't admit it, but he knows it was a mistake to do it
at 1 a.m.
time America.
Yeah.
Because that, to me, that's all I saw was a guy that did not want to be there.
Yeah.
Like he would have much rather just be back at the hotel. And then they decided to do media with him after. That might have been the dumbest idea ever. Like, what did you think you were going to get?
Definitely didn't want to have Dana talking about anything after he saw, somebody. I think he felt just a little bit of pride in Leon. All the pictures, all the memes, the zooms in on Dana's face when the belts are being presented, like that just speaks volumes for maybe either whether he was tired or whether he just didn't want Bilal to get that belt.
I don't know if how much of a Leon guy he was either. I don't think he was like Leon was like. I don't know. He
immediately said no. He's there because everybody asked him, "Hey, so."
No, I don't need to see the rematch. I don't need to see a rematch. I didn't like a rematch to begin with. If Bilal had won, I didn't feel like Leon. It's not like Leon was an long extended champion. He defended the belt twice. One was a rematch to Kamaru, and one was to Colby Covington. I don't need to see another Leon Bilal. But I do. So, Bobby, you mentioned maybe in 3 months' time, him and Shavkat. I think you could see that. It looks like to me they're working on Ilya versus Max on that card. But I don't think you can headline a UFC with Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat. That might be the problem. So that might need to be a co-main.
Y'all want to hear it?
I assumed it would be.
Right here.
Go ahead, Whit.
So just imagine it's close to December. Maybe we got another fight card coming up. Out of the shadows, right there at number 4. At right around the time when we're going to get ready to vote in this possible new president is Republican. Yet I say, do we get a Colby Covington sighting somewhere out here?
Nah, he hasn't won a fight. He hasn't won a fight in 4 years either.
I didn't know. I'm not saying he's going to do anything, but will Colby show his face somehow, some way?
He already is in interviews. I mean, Colby's just the king of trash talk that nobody wants to listen to.
So it's not even trash talk anymore. Like what he tried to I can't even remember what it was. I just saw the clip of it. It this coming from a guy that's 0-3 in title fights.
Yeah.
That nobody thought he should have got that last title fight. And what he did
a win over Masvidal like a year and a half later.
All he did was take a big poo in the middle of the octagon. It was, just awful. It's the new blood's time. It's Shavkat. Gary will get it. You could do Gary and Leon.
Yeah, that's my next question. So are we all? So wait, what do you think is next for? Is it Shavkat next for the title?
Somewhere in there, I got to be honest with myself, and what I would love to see is Shavkat for the title. But what I think, and I remember saying this, is if Bilal wins, this gives that 3 through 6 toss-up happening, especially if Kamaru, who's constantly on the show, on his podcast, saying when I'm healthy, like as if he's not or something.
You haven't fighting over a year. How much more healthier do you need? Them knees ain't getting any better, Kamaru.
I don't know, but but the point is, if Kamaru throws his hat into the ring, do we?
He got to win one. He got to win one.
That's what I'm saying. Do we see a Kamaru? Maybe Ian Gary, or then we get Shavkat Leon, not Shavkat Leon, but Shavkat Bilal, and then the winner of that two goes. By the time we, in my mind, what I'm saying is by the time we get to 2025 June, July, we'll end up with Bilal Kamaru or Bilal Shavkat somehow, maybe. Because I think they're going to put one more fight in between somebody like Shavkat.
Well, Bilal said he wants to turn around pretty quick. Said he wants to get one more in at the end of the year. I mean, what's
that sound cool? That sound cool to you.
What's the what? I don't know when the is it in 2 months' time? Maybe the Salt Lake card. They could put him on that and just let him die.
No, he's too big.
No.
He's
Dana's
too big time to go on that.
Yeah, Dana's a big fan. Dana's gonna give him an extended stake plus remember Dana's being a promoter, he knows that that's not exciting. So who can we build up in between then and now? Who can we talk about? Who can make an appearance at the Apex or at the next?
I kind of with Bobby. I think you do Shavkat him and Abu Dhabi as a co-main to Max and Ilya. Really, I guess if they do it weight wise, it would be flipped. But to me, the bigger fight is Ilya versus Max.
That would be a huge fight out there.
Yeah, too. Ilya versus Max, and then Bilal.
Yeah, Bilal he's kind of, you know what I mean? Both of them got people in that area. I like that. Bobby, you kind of mentioned Leon. What do you think's next for Leon?
Maybe some time off. I don't mean like an extended time, but we didn't mention that him getting dumped on his head. Like I think
you got dumped on your head, boy.
Like after that happened, he was clearly not the same.
Yeah.
But realistically, I could still see him wanting to turn it around. I think him and Ian Gary is too much of a layup because we're not going to get Shavkat versus Ian when they could like you said, they probably want to turn Bilal around quick. So, Shavkat is the perfect person for that. And like, if the Conor and Chandler fight is actually going to happen in December, they could put Gary and Leon on the co-main of that.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, I think, and legitimately, I think that's Leon's only way back to the title. And they probably still wouldn't give him a title shot after that, even if he did something impressive.
Yeah, he had to win 7 in a row to get the first title shot. He's probably got to win 10 in a row to get to the second one.
Yeah, him and Bilal Muhammad literally had the same career path.
That's what, and I kind of mentioned it's funny that he dismissed Bilal all week, and it was like, oh, that was him and Kamaru. 2 years ago when Kamaru was dismissing him the first time in the
Yeah, it's wild to see the fighters' evolutions with stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never thought he wasn't not giving Bilal the title shot, but when that fight wasn't signed, I found it a little hypocritical that that's the guy you're not going to give a shot to, the guy that's basically you.
Yeah,
but it eventually all worked itself out. But I think that'd be the best fight to get Leon back in there, and probably the most motivating fight for him too.
And I like where you're coming from with that. But what if the upset happened? Because I think that Gary and Leon having.
That'd be a striking match. I like it. I think Gary would probably try to wrestle in that, but I like that match.
Yeah, Leon Gary sounds exciting to me. But if the upset is pulled and now we get somewhere where Gary gets a little closer up.
Well, if Gary beats Leon, he's next for the title.
Definitely.
If Bilal and Shavkat happen. Then you do Ian and Leon winner. If Ian wins, then he can be Shavkat's next victim.
And I like that. And once again, I just have to say it because for some odd reason it just sounds interesting to me. What if Kamaru decides to come back and he has to face? He's not going to go straight for the title, of course not. He's got to have.
He's on a 3-fight losing streak. Then it's be him and you could do him and JDM or somebody like that.
Got to fight somebody. Is my point. He's got to fight something.
As long as Kamaru's still talking and he still says, when I get healthy, his knees are never going to get healthy. I'll believe when he's coming back, when he comes back at this point in time. I mean, at this point in time, he's like John Jones and Connor and Stipe. They're all grouped in together. They talk
grouped together, yeah.
They all talk, but I ain't seen them in the octagon in about 3 years.
Stipe, John Jones, all figments of my imagination. That just,
Go ahead, Bobby.
So imagine from a year from now, okay? Like in 1 year, Bilal has Shavkat, Gary, and Usman for title defenses next year. Where would you put him in the welterweight ranks of the greatest to ever do it, or however you want to classify that?
And that's a big if, because I don't see him getting past Shavkat, much less the other two. I think he could probably beat Kamaru Usman right now. I would give him
50-45s him. Realistically.
Yeah, I would give him Kamaru. Him and Ian would be a fun one. I mean, I'd put him next to GSP. GSP's reign was just longer. But, I mean, if you did that in such a short amount of time, it would kind of remind me of Charles Oliveira when he was just knocking cats off for dogs like that. And I know that's a different division, but I'm just using that as somebody whose reign was short, but man, like he had a reign where he was knocking off top dudes, so to speak.
Yeah. It's just that's why I'm like so excited for this division now, because there's so many stories that can like be told. Like, not that Leon wasn't doing that, but like, all these guys have been kind of available for a while. And granted, the Kobe fight is what screwed it all up. I mean, that burned us for like 6 to 7 months. But and
then the fact they didn't put him on UFC 300, you know what I mean? And then it delayed it more. Like they didn't. They should have just put it on 300 and called it good.
Could you imagine if that shit that happened on Saturday happened on 300? Then you would have had like, oh, what's wrong with Dana? Like that would have been.
That would have been a good mix, though. Yeah. That would have been a nice mix.
Yeah, let's get into the co-main main event. I told you guys this one I had 1,001%. I said I can't believe. First, you got my boy Whit picking Blades over here, like what I mean. And so Bob, you thought that Blades was going to take him into deep waters. I said absolutely not. I said it's over.
I thought it would be an actual fight.
I said over before the second round. Or in the second, shit, it was over before the second minute started. Tommy Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world. I've said it once. I'll say it again, baby. Tommy Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world. And he proved it again on Saturday night. Whit, go ahead and tell me what happened to your boy Curtis Blades.
It's called repeated shots to the crown of your head. All right. So in reality, man, and I'm watching it in real time going, I'm just, you can do it. He can. No, it didn't happen, man. The hand speed, the quickness in which that Tom Aspinall jumped on to him, and did not relinquish the threat of him being put down. I think somehow, some way, it just overpowered him. He probably is somewhere thinking in my mind, he didn't hit that hard. Before the fight, he probably thought that Tom did not hit that hard. Maybe he wrestles way better. But nah, man. Curtis Blades, the most takedowns in heavyweight history. Nah, man, you got rocked by Tom Aspinall, bro. And it hurt my feelings to see it, but Tom put on a display which warranted him exactly what he did, his call out at the end, where he says, "Don't you people want to see me fight John Jones?" Crowd went nuts.
Hi, John. My name's Tom.
Right.
I think you're really good, but I just think I'm better than you.
Yes. Crowd went nuts. And literally that type of showing, and I'm willing to admit that I was wrong. That type of showing warrants you to say a name like John Jones or Stipe, or but for the money's sake, for the people's sake, yeah, you're gonna say John. But hey, if Stipe wakes up, you gotta take Stipe, whichever one comes first.
Bobby, your thought on the co-main?
So when that started, it was Tom took some shots.
He
And
did.
I was like,
It didn't phase him, though.
No,
It didn't phase him.
And he took him, and that was about the end of the fight. I had absolutely no problem with the stoppage.
Me neither.
Curtis seemed grateful that the fight was stopped. I think he was more kind of just let down in the moment. And like you said, the mic work was on point. He did everything he needed to set up and, eventually get that fight. I told you on the last show, I have full confidence we will get that fight. I know, there's a lot of, and for good reason. I'm not saying it's not warranted, but, to me, I've kind of always known that in November, they're going to do John Jones Stipe unless, hey, now to me, the bigger part is not that he's the interim heavyweight champion. It's that Dana said he's the backup fighter.
Yeah.
To me, that is more important than, his belt.
But they both have to agree to it. And I don't know if either one of them is going to agree to it. Stipe only wants to fight John Jones. He said that.
But if I don't want to say the exact words to jinx it, but if some unforeseen thing were to happen again, the UFC would put their foot down to ensure that John stayed on the card. If for some reason Stipe came off it, but the same time they have Tom and Alex in their back pocket. They just don't want to say it. They're pulling that for their nuke. If he really wants to say, no, I don't want to do it, they actually have something to throw back at him. And that's why I'm confident that he'll do it. He'll get his money. And I think this fight excites him. If he could get up to beat down Cyril Gahn's worthless ass, I assure you he could get up to want to fight Tom Aspinall. I get that it's cool to be like, oh, yeah, he's scared. He's running. Hey, he had the thing with Stipe going on. I get it's the more exciting fight. No shit. But, you got to deal with what you're working with. And in my mind, we'll still get both. Either way, Aspinall is there. And, I have no problem if someone wants to consider him the current champion or whatever, because Jones hasn't defended it. To me, he got a fight. So, I'm not too worried about it. We got to see him again. He got paid, hopefully more than he was getting paid before he didn't have that title. And, that John Jones is going to be a huge money fight for both sides.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you guys this. Put these fights in order that you want to see John Jones. Aspinall, Stipe, Alex, Francis.
Ooh, man. Because you said them right, and then you got to the really meaty ones. For me, bro, to be real, I would like to see John Jones fight Stipe before we even think about Pierre and something. I just would like to see it. Tom Aspinall is the guy, and I somewhere in my mind, it's Tom Aspinall deserves to fight John Jones. Yeah. Do we want to see it and pay money for it? Maybe not. But
I do. I don't want to pay. I would pay more money to see Jones and Aspinall before I pay money to see Jones and Stipe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But Stipe, I'm not excited about that either. I'm not. But if you think about the exciting big name thing, then you got to say John Jones Pierre. But I am with Tom.
So you would say John Jones Pierre over the other ones.
I think so, but I'm saying in all honesty, does Tom Aspinall deserve to have a sit down with Dana so that they can make the phone call to John? Yes, I think so. I give him that. I'm not going to say I was wrong, and I'm going to own up to it. And based on that performance, do they need to have a Zoom call and see if John answers his iPhone? Yes, they do. But is that what the people want? Is that what's going to have people clamoring? I don't. You my brother, of course. And if you down, I'm down. Full flats on the cabinet. But we got to see what happens from here. And I'm excited to see what happens with the heavyweight division.
What about you, Bobby? Which fight would you rather see out of those four I threw out?
So in that scenario, we know we're only getting one more fight out of John Jones.
Yeah, let's just say hypothetically, John Jones got one fight left. Who you want to see?
I mean, that's such a toss-up. Like, Tom has undoubtedly earned it. If we're doing like what's right, it's the Tom thing. That's probably the most intriguing one. But when you mentioned Francis, like if we only knew there was one fight left,
only one,
I like that would kind of get my intrigue a little. Like I thought that John would do significantly well against Francis, and I've always like wanted to cross that one off my bucket list. And I've just kind of assumed that we're never going to get to see that. But then when Dana all of a sudden isn't shutting down the co-promotion talk anymore because he's Turkey's buddy, it gets you thinking. But like realistically, with the Saturday performance, I think I still would say Tom Aspinall.
That's where I'm at too. I'm at the same, and it's not just because I like Tom Aspinall. Number one, we haven't seen Francis fight in the octagon in like 3 years now.
Yeah, for sure.
Longer than John Jones. John Jones. You know what I mean? Like it's been that long. So Alex, I think Alex is intriguing, but he's not a real heavyweight. He's you know what I mean? I think 205 is where he's at. And I think John Jones would ragdoll him, like take him to the ground and be able to ragdoll.
And to me, I'm in no hurry to see it. We can get that in a year or something.
Yeah.
Like I do think he sticks around for that, for sure.
Yeah. And then I think with Stipe, I just don't need to see Stipe, 80-year-old Stipe fight John Jones. I don't need it. And I think it would do more for the career of Tom Aspinall to slay the beast that is John Jones, to give John Jones that 1 L on his record than anybody else. And then, you know, at that point in time, I don't know what's next for Tom if he beats. Like, that's the thing is he fights at heavyweight, and the heavyweight division's not very good. And I don't know if there's a guy out there other than that John Jones can give him a fight. I mean, the guy doesn't get out of the first round.
Listen, bro, you said it. You said a mouthful, and I think that the main idea would be when and if Tom Aspinall fights John Jones, and he beats him, let's say, what is there left for you to conquer in the heavyweight?
At such a young age, too.
At such a young age, there's really not anybody else on par with him. But you know, Bobby mentioned it. He was we've not been having too many of those Dana having those damning cross promotion conversations. Would we get a Francis Tom? Maybe, you know, could we?
That would be cruel.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, where would Tom go from there? What would you do? Boxing? Something. I watched a podcast and the guys were going, when is Super going to get smart enough to figure out that, hey, look, why don't you just do your own boxing promotion, and that way you can give UFC fighters the alternative. You go in the UFC, or you can go and do your boxing, and we'll promote both of them.
Yeah, TKO could do that for sure.
Mm-hmm. But, and look, and everybody knows right now. Look, if you know Turkey Al Sheikh, which again we say salam alaikum to all my brothers in Saudi Arabia, you know, it's the money is there for them to be made. And just imagine Big Tom Aspinall after he beats whomever, Stipe, John Jones. Look at that, the baby's excited. Just imagine Big Tom Aspinall fighting in a big DAZN heavyweight boxing.
Yeah,
more money, a whole lot of money because he's putting guys to sleep. Apparently,
yes. It'd be interesting. Let's get back 303. I thought Paddy Pimblett, his best performance of his career, we talked about him being on his last fight of his contract. Got the contract before the fight. Got the finish. Now is ranked. You know, I told you, Paddy. That place was going nuts for that kid. I enjoy him. Bobby, your thoughts on what's next, his performance, and kind of what's next for Paddy the Baddy?
I mean, he looked the part for sure. I mean, I really don't know what Bobby Green was thinking shooting on him.
So Bobby came out and said he tripped on a leg kick or something. Wasn't shooting, and he just got caught.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because everybody's like, "Why the hell would you shoot?" And he's like,
"Even more impressive then." Yeah, no, he looks like he literally should be ranked, which he now is, and I love that Moicano fight next.
Me too.
Or give him give him Benoit, like give him the winner of that. Like I don't think they need to put the kid gloves on him anymore. He can fight ranked guys, and we remember like how we used to think of Sean O'Malley before that Peter Yan win. A lot of people would say, "Oh, this guy's never going to be champion."
He's fighting cans. He's beating guys that you know what I mean.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he beat Yan, and the rest is history. So,
allegedly beat Yan.
Well, I mean, he got the win, which got him, the title.
Yeah.
But I just find it like very, very interesting, like when you see like similarities in things like that, and he's kind of always gonna get that like hatred and stuff. So he seems like he knows how to work with it, and it doesn't seem to be affecting his work in the cage.
No, I think I'm with you. I don't even think you really need the win. He can get the loser or the win. I think just do him and Moicano, because they have some bad blood and both kind of rising stars. I do like Moicano. Let me look at the rankings. I pulled it up here. What's Moicano ranked off the top here?
He's maybe like 13.
Yeah, Moicano's 10, so that would be a perfect.
Oh,
yeah. Moicano's 10. BSD is 12. So I like just do him and Moicano. Really, I mean, I know that him and BSD are getting ready to fight. I don't mind the Moicano fight. Or what about? I like this guy too. And he's been out with the ACL, Rafael Fiziev. I wouldn't mind him and Fiziev going at it. That would be a fun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Patty and Fiziev?
Yeah.
That's a step up. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Rafael is number 8 right now, so.
And he hasn't fought since the Gaethje loss, right?
No, he fought another time and he tore his ACL.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Okay. So, first fight coming off that. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, that would definitely be, he's trying to climb the rankings, That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the idea is, of course, coming back from injury, you want to test it. You want to see what you can do. You're
fighting a guy lower than you instead of fighting a higher guy, so you're getting in that rankings. If you're Fiziev, it works well because hey, I don't want to fight maybe a top 2 or 3 guy coming back off the injury, but I can fight the number 15 guy just to kind of get my feet wet.
And the thing is, Patty's scary at 15. It's not like this is a weak 15.
Yeah,
Patty's scary at 15. So the eyes will be on you, and you go, look, I just want to show everybody I'm back. This is the new Fiziev. The old Fiziev is gone. New Fiziev is dead. Let's see what I can do against somebody like Patty Pepper. And to me, I think, bringing into the accountability, like, hey, look, that'll stylistically be a fight where it won't be boring. You know what I mean? I think that would be actually a good idea.
Who's number 13?
Let me look at the rankings here. 13 is Jalen Turner.
Yeah, my guy. Shout out to Jalen Turner. Where
Jalen Turner.
Burner Turner almost quit.
I like him versus Dan Hooker too.
Yeah, Dan's getting ready to fight. Is it Dariush? Or no, Gamrot. Yeah.
That should be a
Look
war.
what Neil Dariush got going on. He doesn't have a fight. Looks like.
No, he's on a 4-fight skid. That's why.
Who did he walk out to the cage? I didn't even recognize him.
Darush?
Yeah, he looked old. He looked so old. He walked with walked out with Bilal.
Was it? Or I thought it was like last week's Apex or something. He walked someone out. I can't
I
remember.
swear it was
I don't know.
Bilal, and he looked like his hair. He's already got like a lot of gray, but he's like silver and black gray.
Yeah, it
Like
was wild.
like Magneto gray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Finish out our 303 talk real quick before we get into this weekend's card. RoboCop, RoboCop had a nice win. Arnold Allen had a nice win. Arnold Allen with the big win? Real quick, what do you make? What's next for Arnold? Give him another top 5 type guy. Let me look at the featherweight rankings here. I'm looking. Arnold is 5. I like him and Yair Rodriguez.
That'd be a pretty good scrap.
Yair Rodriguez. Brian Ortega's too high. Of course, you know he's got something wrong.
Any other Bobby? Any other takeaways from UFC 304 over Saturday that we haven't?
Only the one guy that's no longer on the roster. That fight was the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. Like, you have two guys that are acting like they are going to literally throw hands and have to be held back the entire time. And then the fight starts, and it was not that at all. Like, that was just something else. And then
that's why I got moved.
Yeah, well, with the egregious shorts grab, I thought that should have been a point, and I think that fight should have been a draw. But, he got the win. I think most people have kind of already forgot about it. There are a lot of people upset that he did not get re-signed. A lot of people are saying he got cut, which I know that's technically what happened, but he actually fought out his contract. So they don't let guys go into the last fight. I mean, look at Patty. They made sure to lock him up.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can do something to come back. But,
PFL's waiting, baby.
He made the PFL's poster boy at a Dana White press conference. I mean, that was my conspiracy theory of the day is, did they let him walk to pretty much, because the antitrust suit is going to trial now.
Yeah.
So are they doing moves like this, like kind of letting like top guys go to, be like, oh, what do you mean? We're not a monopoly. I mean, granted, I understand that sounds crazy, but like
No, it doesn't sound too crazy. It somewhat makes sense. I think he was just too much of a headache.
For sure.
And it seems like they were tired of the annex. I mean, do they ever let an undefeated fighter like that go? A guy who possibly could have been fighting for the title, especially in a division like the flyweights, where it's not the deepest division in the world. It is. So you must have been a bad headache. Like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's crazy. His fighting style isn't the most fascinating. I was just thinking, like, they say that about his fighting style, but doesn't Merab have the same fighting style? You know what I mean? Like, just a wrestle heavy.
There's so many. Like,
in your face, Bilal's like that. I was
just about to say, we just saw Bilal.
How mad would Dana, and even the guy we're going to talk about here in a little bit, Umar, is a lot like that. How mad would Dana be if Bilal's your champion, and then it's Merab versus Umar for the bantamweight title?
and listen, you gotta throw Islam in, even though we're suffering from recency bias with Islam and Dustin.
Yeah,
Islam is the same guy.
Yeah, Islam will throw hands, though. I mean, we've seen him do that, and his game's a little bit more developed. So I don't really buy it so much as like they don't like his wrestling heavy style, because there's so many guys that are in the UFC that's what they do.
Yeah, his manager's Tim Simpson, and like if Tim couldn't get him to keep him, like in my opinion, this is no fact or anything, but I just think he was too much of a headache for them to deal with. And the size of their rosters, they just like, to them, he's just another guy. Like, they don't really look at all, the accolades and stuff. But hey, PFL's got a, undefeated dude. I think he should go to 1. Mainly because I want to see a ref give him a yellow card. I think that would just be great. But yeah, but all jokes aside, I think one would be a cool place for him to showcase his skills and build up a better name. Nothing's gonna be like the UFC.
No.
Yeah, and maybe he can come back. People are always, he matures a little. People always can come back. So
Yeah, it's not like he Paul Daly the guy. Like he just yeah.
So we'll see. That was kind of my other takeaway too. Let me back into. I mentioned Umar. Him and Corey Sandhagen are headlining this week's card. This one's in Abu Dhabi too? Saudi Arabia? I don't even know where this is at.
Yeah, no, it's Abu Dhabi.
Okay, so they're having this one in Abu Dhabi, and then they're going to have another pay-per-view in Abu Dhabi in October, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Listen, those guys, those oil barons, those oil tycoons, they
got the money.
We need something to watch, Dana. We'll pay you.
But it is Corey Sandhagen. This is pretty much to me a number one contender fight. Umar wins. He's been told, "Hey, you're next," and I believe Corey could be very well next if he wins. Like and him and Sean. If Sean won against Marab, that would be a hell of a fight, a fun fight. Bobby, how you see this main event going down on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, I guess?
Yeah, so this morning I saw Trevor Whitman training with Sandhagen.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, that's enticing. Like, we might have something here. Like, what do we got? And then, sure enough, I see Khabib training with Umar. So it's like, yeah. And I do think there are paths for Corey to win in this fight. Like Umar's last performance, like I would have been a lot more confident if I was Corey Sandhagen taking this fight before that fight. But I just, remembering that fight with Aljo, like how quickly he got his back and everything. I just, I think the line is pretty justified, even though Corey is the ranked fighter. So,
Corey's number 2, Umar's 10. Corey is the dog on this fight at plus 245.
Yeah.
Umar's a pretty solid 305. Jeez.
Yeah, it's some juicy action. Like it's probably definitely worth it. But, you could definitely see the avenue of why it is like that. I wonder if it does go to the ground, like what kind of fight is it? Like, is it just, because he's got a ground game as well. So I'm very interested in the fight. But if I were to make a pick, I would probably have to go with Umar, unfortunately.
What about you? How you see this one going down Saturday?
That's crazy because you said the whole thing, Bobby. Like stylistically, if this fight goes to the ground, does the upper hand go to Sandhagen because we've seen it, or because we've seen Umar take guys out, in both center and everything, So unfortunately, I kind of, even though, like you said, the ranking is what you look at the majority of the time. Like Umar's got just a little bit of scary juice poured on this one. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. And I could really see this going to the judges' card.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if it's not, because I feel like this isn't a knockout early type fight. This is one of those 10 takedown or more type fights. And we're going to see a lot of some really good wrestling going on. But when it comes to that, I gotta, Sandhagen's my guy. He's been through some wars, but Umar just by that much, by the hair of his chin, which he shaves. I like Umar now.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you guys. I just think that Corey is overall just a great martial artist. You look at the guys he's lost to. He got dumped on his head real quick by Aljo, and then he lost to a close fight, which I thought I scored it for him in the TJ fight. And then he lost to Peter Yan on short notice. And none of those guys, other than Aljo, finished him. Those other two guys didn't finish him. They went 5 rounds. One was for the interim bantamweight title with Peter Yan in this exact same place. I think Umar is really good. He's going to obviously do the Dagestanian wrestling. I think Corey knows that. And he's prepared for that. I don't know what else like Umar can really bring to the table. Where I feel like Corey is so good all around. He is what's his name? Kind of light, Cruz light. You know what I mean? Just the way they move, the movement. He's a little Dominic Cruz light. And that's just why I think that could cause a problem, especially for Umar, who's going to try to shoot, right? And that's going to be hard to do with Corey's movement. So give me the Sandman and to win this one.
Let me throw these out there, man.
I hope you're right for the record.
Yeah, no, I like where you're going with this.
I like Corey Sandhagen. I enjoy Corey, the way he fights, the way he represents himself. Him and Trevor Whitman, I mean, together, that's going to be a good one. No matter what we know, Trevor Whitman's going to be smiling at the end. So,
and listen, the point was, you mentioned it, that Dominic Cruz comparison. I like that one. I do like that one. But then I look at these numbers. Take down accuracy, take down defense. The accuracy for Nurmagomedov is 56%. And then the takedown defense is 100%. Never getting taken down. But this could be where the rubber meets the road with these two guys. So I'm excited to see it, regardless of the outcome.
I do think we get a little bit more striking in this match than we think too.
Yes.
Because I mean, Umar is, he will throw hands.
I can agree.
The other main fight on this card, I think we all share bullets on this card. He's the co-main because remember, this was supposed to be Nick Diaz versus Vincent Luque. Oh, imagine that. They had travel issues. Well, we could have told you that when the fight was announced. We didn't need to know that fight wasn't going to happen. We already knew it wasn't going to happen. But I look at the bantamweight down here, number 4, Charlotte, Chito Vera versus, Davison Figueiredo. Figgy is, in fact, the favorite here at minus 148. Chito coming off the title loss. Figgy is undefeated in the bantamweight division. Bobby, what's your thoughts here on these two top bantamweights? Chito trying to get back in that title picture where, Figgy, I don't know how many more fights he needs to win. A guy who's, held a title in previous fight before he gets a title shot, but it might be one more. He might win this one and have to sit out for a minute and then get the next fight.
Yeah. I really wish this one was not in Abu Dhabi for Chito. I mean, granted, they both had to travel, but I would have been a lot more comfortable if he was fighting in Vegas or something. And, unfortunately, Chito takes too much time to get
it's a
going.
3-round fight, too. That's nervous.
Yeah. And, I didn't even think of that with the 3-round aspect.
Yeah.
But, maybe that has him have a little bit more urgency coming out of the gate. But I just feel like Figgy is too fast for him for, the whole downloading style. And, I kind of personally think that's a bargain at minus 148 because, it's not like a 2-1 or something. Cheeto's kind of always going to be a live dog to, get a knockout or something. But I'm pretty confident that Figgy is going to get that one done.
Go ahead.
Another one I don't feel good about picking either.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Chito.
Yeah, I do too. I am too. Go ahead, Whit.
I was just about to say the same thing, guys. I have hung with Bodkins, and Bodkins has made me like Chito Vera more over time. And then somehow, some way, as I look at what I know from Davison Figueiredo, Chito with that, just I didn't want to call it downloading, but we saw the O'Malley fight, and it looked like he just didn't get started till 4 or 5. You know, it didn't look like he really got it cranked up until 4 rounds. And with 3 rounds and the type of pressure that we've seen Figueroa put on, you know, kind of early, that kind of leads towards him, man. And I don't want to say that, you know, somebody I actually like and admire in their division goes on a two fight, you know, losing streak, but it's a possibility that that's what's going to happen, man. I like Davidson Figueroa on this one as well, but I like it more once again on the decision side of things. 3 rounds, you know, make it a little long. Lots of.
I mean, if Sean O'Malley couldn't finish Cheeto in 5 rounds, as many punches to the dome that Cheeto took,
yeah,
I don't think that Figgy can finish Cheeto. But I'm right there with you. I love Cheeto. I think he's one of the coolest people probably walking God's green earth. Just the way he represents himself, the way he talks. Definitely would like to, take some peace offering with Cheeto for sure. But I'm with you guys. I don't feel great about it picking against my guy. I just think Davidson Figueroa I think the ground game is going to be there for him, and he'll be able to take advantage. And Cheeto being 3 rounds where a guy, Bobby mentioned, taking the reads, the downloading. You can't do that in a 3-round fight. It almost cost Peter Yan. Peter Yan's the same, very similar way. And it almost cost him against Song Yadong, because when you have a 3-round fight, you don't have time you can't waste time. You can't waste rounds. You can't be like, well, this was round 1. I took my reads. Yeah, but if you lose round 1 and half of round 2, you're putting yourself in some severe danger. And you got to pour it on the second half of round 2. And I don't know if Figgy's going to allow him to do that. So give me, I'm with you guys. I'm going to ride with Figgy here on this one. And I don't like it, but it is what it is.
I don't think we've ever all three agreed on a fight either.
Amen to that. Amen to that. That's probably that means Cheeto probably wins. Real quick, man, Tony Ferguson, is this worth the juice, Bobby? At plus 525 for Tony versus.
So I saw
go and get his fighter
I
win.
saw that Michael Chiesa was like a minus 750 or something.
Yeah, minus what is he? Minus on here they got him at minus 750. Yeah, on yeah.
That is wild.
Like, you know what would suck? If this ends in a draw. Okay.
That'd be rough.
Tony came out today and he said at the presser he's back to sparring. Not that Tony, it's time to go. Just put him out.
They did media for this stuff? I haven't really seen any media.
Yeah. He was at media. They didn't do like a presser, but just typical media day. And he said he's back to sparring. Sparred like 700 rounds. First time in like 7 years. Blah 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 blah. I always feel like we get the same presser from Tony every time. I'm back to my old self. I'm back. El Kakui.
Yeah, I guess the only like consolation in this fight is I don't have to watch it through my hands through my eyes because he's fighting Chiesa.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Michael Chiesa, but it's not like you're worried about him like inflicting like damage or anything.
Yeah.
So it's that line is just very steep. Like, show me the person that's willing to put up 750 on Michael Chiesa to win $100. Like,
there is it.
But like at the same time, I would think Chiesa would get that done. Maybe it goes to decision. I mean, it can. I do think Tony can win the fight. But I feel like we are so far gone from that.
What if I would have told you from, back in, 2019, 2020, you know what I mean? Like Michael Chiesa versus Tony Ferguson, and these were the lines. You would have been like, what the hell?
It would have been flipped. Right. It would have been flipped.
Yeah. And here we are. Tony hasn't won a fight since, since the pre-pandemic. And it's just been worse every time out, I feel like. I wish the UFC would Like, that's the person. I don't know how many fights he's got left on his contract, but stop offering him.
This has got to be. He's got to be going. I mean, and this is respectfully for someone who was brought, so much like bigger excellence, whatever, positive things to the ring. But we can't walk him out there too many more times, man. Shout out to Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Dana's already told him he wants him to retire. And I mean, a big reason I never believed the Nick Diaz fight was happening is why wouldn't you have just matched up Nick versus Tony?
Yeah.
That at least makes sense.
Yeah.
And,
let's give Vincent Luque, who's ranked. Like, why? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, it was just bizarre. But at the same time, I feel like they organized it that way because they knew he would not make it to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. The minute it was announced it was in Abu Dhabi, I think, there was not a person that has never been around Nick Diaz or knows the story of Nick Diaz. Been like, yeah, he's going to fight there.
Yeah. Like, I am required to follow him to the end. He could do no wrong in my eyes. But I was not looking forward to having to watch that. And now I can enjoy the card a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't have that like, oh, well, what's this going to do? But then when I saw it, before the fight was off, when I saw the Nate and Jorge boxing, like a little part of my mind was like, oh, well, maybe. And like, no, just stop it. Like, don't even entertain it. Like, and then sure enough, the fight got pulled. But, Dana made it sound like that is probably unlikely to happen in the future. So I think that's why they just put him on Abu Dhabi to like shut him up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's, he said that it's probably not going to get remixed. Another good, nice fight is here. Just real quick, just to mention it. It's Mackenzie Dern, Lupe Godinez. So nice little fight.
Lupe's a dog too.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, take that all day.
Yeah. Jai Herbert's on this card. Alonzo Minifield, who just got blown out. I saw him get blown out in St. Louis his last time out. But nice little fight card. Wait, before we go though, we got some boxing on Saturday night. It is the return of none other than Mr. Bud Crawford.
Man, listen, this is actually really dope in my mind.
Because this is really quick before you get into the whole card. You watch the UFC Saturday afternoon and then you turn the boxing on because, like what was getting ready to say, like this card's stacked.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. This is actually really good. Every once in a while we get two good things that sometimes, like Bakken mentioned, that we'll sometimes we'll have them at the same time. You got to watch one, turn to the other. This time we get MMA in the daytime, and then we get good boxing in the evening. I'm just going to highlight some of the quick fights, man. So, of course, we got to start at somewhere in the middle. We got to talk about Jared Big Baby Anderson, Martin McCall, heavyweight division. Jared Big Baby Anderson has been in the news like the last few times. Somebody stole his car. He went and tracked him down, pulled the guy out the car, almost beat him to a pulp. That was horrible. But now he's back in the ring. So shout out to Big Baby. Getting back to what he's known for. Then we got Andy Ruiz and Jarrell Miller, who's also another big baby. Everybody knows Andy Ruiz was the guy who got in there and knocked out Anthony Joshua one time. What? He's back. And this fight has somewhat of those implications between what could happen in the future with the Usyk fight and the Tyson Fury fight. And then, of course, Anthony Joshua is going back to fight. I can't think of his name right now, but these three fights are going to be concurrent, of course. This one being first, then Usyk and Tyson Fury is second, and then you got to have the Joshua fight as well. So somewhere in there, we're going to figure out who's going to go towards the heavyweight contendership and possibly be unanimous, of course, which everybody wants in the heavyweight division. It's really hard to do because sanctioning bodies never agree sometimes they agree in other weight classes, but they really never agree in heavyweight. And then finally we got Madrimov versus Terry Crawford. Let's just say this. Madrimov has been getting really good comparisons. And the idea is Terrence Crawford has already proven himself somewhat. This is one of those, well, if the money isn't here, then where is the money? And everybody's got the same answer in boxing. Who's going to fight Canelo? When is Canelo going to take a chance at one of these American fighters? But somewhere in here, we got Bud Crawford, undisputed, very hard to do in multiple weight divisions, and he is not. And his mama told everybody on camera, "I used to pay other people to try and whoop my son, and it didn't work." I really don't care who you put in front of Bud Crawford right about now. He's on a streak right now. We're looking at 40-0. It's somewhat unheard of, but then we got to think about the type of display we saw when he beat Errol Spence. You really don't see boxing matches like that. We get, you know what I'm saying? What happened is I think I talked to Botkins about this. We get spoiled because we see Tank Davis knock guys out, in round 7. You know what I mean? We get spoiled by that. But to see what happened with Bud and Errol Spence, where he just pretty much peppered them to death, you know what I'm saying? To DEF, that is ridiculous. So I'm excited to see this one. Got to throw some more boxing real quick. Clarissa Shields beat Vanessa LePage Janice crazy. And now Clarissa Shields, the GOAT, that's the greatest woman of all times, 4 division undisputed women's champion. I don't know who you can put in there. Layla Ali couldn't come back if she wanted to and beat Clarissa Shields. We got Alicia Bumgardner, 15 pounds lighter. The closest thing that we could have to a competitive fight, which is a possibility. But Clarissa Shields went out there and was the OG the entire time. So big shouts out to Clarissa Shields. If you got a chance to watch that fight, you saw a woman. You saw an angry woman. I don't know who she's married to. God dang, I'm scared if I'm him. Okay, I'm washing the dishes. I'm cleaning the car's vacuumed. Everything's good and clean in my house. She ain't got to worry about nothing after I see her beat the mess out of me. But other than that, man, lots of boxing going on. I'm excited. And shout out to the USA men's boxing Olympic team. We're headed into the knockout rounds as they will, where we will start contending for medals. And of course, we got a lot to hope for USA boxing, as we have not been at the top of Olympic boxing in about 16 years. So we'll see exactly what happens, and I'll definitely keep y'all on.
I like it, man. Yeah, Bob, you got anything to add on the boxing front?
That Crawford fight being in LA is huge.
Yeah,
because
guess who sponsored it?
Yeah,
the Saudis.
That is why you have the card built like that. And if this thing has success, it literally can change the future of boxing. Because we've seen them all do, the ones in Saudi, and the fights deliver, but that atmosphere isn't there.
Yeah.
It's just dull. And this, you actually are gonna get the atmosphere. And if they, I really hope they don't try to do a bunch of musical performances.
Eminem is performing.
Eminem is a special guest.
Well, I have no problem with that. What I'm talking about are the the mix and match stuff that doesn't fit with the card. It's in LA, just let it be. And I'm really excited for that. I don't think Crawford is getting enough credit for taking this fight, because there's very little upside to him. If he were to lose, if he wins, people are just going to be like, oh, whatever, he beat this guy. But, people that know that he's actually fighting someone, it's going to be a good fight. But I still have Bud winning that, obviously.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I think too.
I
want to see.
We got Bud on it for sure. And the thing is, Madrimov and that Uzbekistan fighting style is really somewhat what they compare to that almost Mexican. They're gonna stand in there. They're gonna take a lot of punches, but they're gonna try and take you out as they do. And Bud is such a pugilist, not just a boxer, but he can dissect. He's got the affinity to dissect boxers who's trying to bully him because they feel like he's a smaller guy. So I think this is a really good matchup. And like you said, it's almost nothing that he can gain for beating him, but he took the fight.
Yeah, I want to see him and Canelo. He wants Canelo. I don't know if Canelo wants Bud. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the
Go
fight
for
for
a couple
sure.
$1 million like the wedding dog and cheap.
Yeah. Any boys? Any last thoughts before we get up out of here?
In the hoop on Fridays. Hey, check it out on YouTube. LTS. We here.
Bobby, any final thoughts?
No final thoughts really. Just the stuff that happened with the whole kite fight and stuff. That I will be interested to see how that plays out, like in the next couple weeks and stuff. But other than that, I think we're lined up for a great weekend of combat. So I can't wait.
Same. Can't wait to watch this Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow on the LTS show. We're previewing this, the NFC South preview tomorrow night. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, folks. It's been another great episode of Head Kicks and Haymakers from my guy Whit, my guy Bobby. I'm Bodkins. I'm going to hit that outro. Y'all have a great weekend. Great weekend of fights. Hope y'all catch them out. And we'll be back 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern next Wednesday. Talk about it all. We'll see you then, folks.
Great job, boys.
Yeah.
All right, so yep, we'll next Wednesday, man. And thanks, Bobby. I love it.
Yeah, Bobby, man.